changed. We need to see. You will see one thing: those people who were at times boycotting the elections are right now very much, thinking that this is. They are very much. They have the aspirations with the democratic process of the country as of now, and that's a very overwhelming thing.
Yes, let me take that back across to Dr. Nirmal Singh as well. Dr. Nirmal Singh, do you believe now that you're hopeful that this will be the same scenario in other constituencies also, which are still left to poll in the next few phases?
Definitely, I think better than this. In the south, you see that in the South Kashmir, there used to be boycott call, but so far as the Rajouri Punch is concerned, there used to be overwhelming people. They used to come out for voting, and in North Kashmir also, because in North Kashmir, the people, they voted during in large number during the last assembly constituencies also, assembly elections also. This time, that shall be more than this. I'm very much sure. And definitely the Srinagar constituency, the people there, they have given message to those people also. And that will definitely add to that.
Yes, absolutely. Syed Andrabi, just tell us also about what the youth's aspirations are, and hopes are now, hopefully from the leadership that will win through these elections.
See, obviously, what are the aspirations of the youth as of now are obviously something that has not been in the past. Right now, youth wants peace that is there, and they want this peace to be viable as of now. It should be sustainable as well. They want that thing. Second, they want growth in terms of industries, in terms of other things, in terms of economy. The aspirations of the youth are totally different. Vis-a-vis Kashmir, if I quote it. So we want, youth want employment generation. Industries need to be erected over here. So there need to be investments from outside, and we are foreseeing that thing as of now.
Mr. Day,
yes,
I'll add to. Please
go ahead, Dr. Singh.
Whatever Bindrabi has said with the involvement of youth in the politics, you see that our government, our central government, they resorted to the elections. So far as this panchayat election, it was for the first time that these BDC elections, they were held, and the democracy at the grassroots level, that was being pushed. But when we were in power, that was one of the reasons that we withdraw our the support to this PDP, BJP coalition government, because they were not prepared for these elections. Because this is the way to involve the youth in the politics. Otherwise, only three families. That is the Nehru Gandhi family, Abdullah family, and Mufti family. They were just dominating the politics here. Now, new leadership you will see that new alliances and the third alternative is also coming up. And even these elections may throw some surprise. We hope. Because I'm seeing, because I'm stationed in Poonch, I've seen that people, they are saying, and we are also getting reports from Kashmir as well as this also. There may be surprises from the people of India at large that the Kashmiris, they throw this surprise to them.
Okay. I'm going to take a break. My thanks to our guests for joining us on this discussion. Much more on the other side, and we certainly do hope that this trend, of course, continues. Very, very good sign from Srinagar yesterday.
जारी रहेगी भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति। ये है मोदी की गारंटी।
Predictor on 1X bet, only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go.
किसानों को जारी रहेगी 6,000 रुपए की सम्मान निधि। ये है मोदी की गारंटी।
Predictor on 1X bet. Only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go.
So we are doing the road stop and we have the Union Minister Piyush Goyal with us.
मोदी के आने के बाद तो बहुत बदलाव हो गया, अभी वही करेगा राज.
There is no part of Uttar Mumbai which I have not visited in the last 1 month.
ये हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का आज नामांकन भरा है। ये हमारे लिए नहीं बल्कि पूरे देशवासियों के लिए खुशी की बात है। और इस बार 2014-2019 के सब रिकॉर्ड टूट जाएंगे। मोदी जी भारी वोटों से विजय होंगे और देश में 400 पार का जो नारा है वो सक्सेस हो जाएगा।
So how confident are you of Maharashtra?
बिल्कुल 100% कॉन्फिडेंट है। और महाराष्ट्र से 45 का मिशन है हमारा और निश्चित रूप से हम उसमें जीतेंगे।
We just want to understand, sir, how confident is the BJP in Maharashtra, because it will be a big contest. There are many parties in the fray.
In Maharashtra will be no different from any other state. People are voting for Modi ji's leadership. That is the essence of the entire election, not only in Maharashtra but in the whole country. And I can assure you that Maharashtra will also be on par with all the best performing states for the NDA.
So, NDA is going to do very well in Andhra. In Telangana also, BJP is going to do very well.
So what's the plan of action for Andhra Pradesh?
No, we have to reconstruct the development and also state totally. 5 years, there is a lot of destruction. That is our agenda. Now NDA is positioned comfortably. We will sweep assembly and also will contribute out of 25-24 to national.
And so how is the BJP perceived in South India?
No, this time BJP is doing very well, especially southern states.
Has the BJP done enough, sir, to bridge that gap between the north and south, which the opposition keeps on raising?
We are all there. How to work it out, we will work it out.
Thank you, sir.
ये सर क्या एनडीए का शक्ति प्रदर्शन था? ये शक्ति प्रदर्शन नहीं, यह बनारस के लोगों का आशीर्वाद लेने यहाँ प्रधानमंत्री जी आए। यहाँ के जनप्रतिनिधि हैं और हमारे लिए सौभाग्य है कि देश के अलग अलग कोनों से, राज्यों से सब नेता यहाँ मौजूद हैं। पूरा एनडीए एक मत है और हम सब लोग अपनी ताकत लगा रहे हैं कि देश को हम कैसे आगे बढ़ाएं। क्या कैसे एहसास हो रहा है कि 400 से ज़्यादा नंबर? देखिए, बड़ा मैंडेट मिलेगा, तीसरी बार सरकार बन रही है, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है। और बनारस की जनता पूरी तरह से प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ, और बनारस का आशीर्वाद, गंगा मैया का आशीर्वाद बहुत ताकतवर होता है।
मुझे लगता है ये बात जैन चौधरी समझ चुके हैं। देखिए, ये थे जैन चौधरी। इन्होंने कहा है कि बहुत जो बड़ा है मैंडेट मिल रहा है और शायद ये एक बहुत बड़ा संदेश है। दीपक के साथ मैं अरविंद चतुर्वेदी।
बहुत बढ़िया खबर है, खुशी की बात है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं। बनारस के लोगों को एक तरफा चुनाव करना चाहिए और 543 जो लोकसभा के चुनाव हो रहे हैं, सबसे ज्यादा वोट से देश में प्रधानमंत्री को जिताने का काम बनारस के लोग करें और प्रदेश में 80 की 80 सीट हम लोग जीतेंगे और देश में आप देखिएगा 4 जून को 400 पार सीट हम लोग जीतेंगे।
100 सब खड़े रह जाएंगे,
ऐसा देखते रह जाएंगे।
अच्छा, आप सोनकर जाति से आते हैं, उसके अलावा भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बहुत पुराने कार्यकर्ता हैं, प्रस्तावक बन के आपको कैसा महसूस हो रहा है?
एक कार्यकर्ता, एक छोटा सा कार्यकर्ता को क्या महसूस होगा, इससे बड़ी खुशी क्या हो सकती है कि आज हम पूज्य प्रधानमंत्री जी के प्रस्तावक बनने जा रहे हैं, जो विश्व के नेता हैं, जो लोकप्रिय नेता हैं। हम सभी सौभाग्यशाली हैं जो हम लोग उनको वोट करेंगे और लगातार उनका हम सबको सानिध्य मिलता रहता है।
किन किन पदों पे रहे हैं?
मैं जिला कार्य समिति के पद पे रहा हूँ, उसके पहले भी कई पदों पे रहा हूँ, अनुसूचित मोर्चे का जिला अध्यक्ष रहा हूँ, 2 बार के जिले के महामंत्री हूँ भारतीय जनता पार्टी का।
चलिए संजय जी, हम आपको बधाई देते हैं। धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद आपको।
7 बज गए, एक दिन जल्दी उठाने को बोला था, फिर भी।
कहाँ जाना है सुबह सुबह?
वोट डालने जाना है अम्मा।
हाँ तो आराम से चली जाना, भागी क्यों जा रही है?
भागते तो हम पहले थे, भोर 4 बजे खेत में। अब जिस व्यक्ति ने हमें हमारे घर पर इज्जत घर बनवा के हमें सुरक्षा दी है, उसे वोट देने तो भाग कर ही जाएंगे ना।
जिसकी गारंटी ने जिंदगी संवारी, उसको वोट देने की गारंटी हमारी। कमल का बटन दबाएं, भाजपा को जिताएं।
Only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go.
3 करोड़ बहनों को लखपति दीदी बनाएंगे, ये है मोदी की गारंटी।
So we are doing the road stop and we have the Union Minister Piyush Goyal with us.
मोदी के आने के बाद तो बहुत बदलाव हो गया, अभी वो ही करेगा राज।
There is no part of Uttar Mumbai which I have not visited in the last 1 month.
Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Our big focus this hour, the Awami Action Committee has carried out protests in parts of POK against inflation, which has led to a massive crackdown by Pakistani security forces. A wheel jam and shutter down strike in Muzaffarabad brought the city to a standstill. The AAC had called for a peaceful protest against high taxes, electricity bills and the sudden rise in inflation. Clashes erupted when the police resorted to tear gas shelling around people's homes. This led to strikes being called across multiple parts of POK. Meanwhile, over 100 people have been injured in the clashes during the protests as well. In fact, people of Muzaffarabad spoke with the media and shared their ordeal.
कितने बंदे जख्मी हुए? 4 बंदे हमारे शहीद हो चुके हैं और दर्जनों जख्मी हो चुके हैं। इन्हें शल मारे या जब फायर मारे? स्टेट फायर मारे।
लोग बैठे हुए थे, लोग नोटिफिकेशन को देख के खुशी से जा रहे थे, तो यहाँ एफसी वालों ने फायर मारे हैं किसी बंदे को, 2 बंदों को। उसके बाद ये शेलिंग शुरू कर दी। ये हेलीकॉप्टर के ऊपर आपके सामने आई है। हेलीकॉप्टर जो आए थे, क्या हुआ है नीचे? आंसू गैस फेंकी है।
Meanwhile, citizens of POK chanting Azadi also were heard during the protests.
Azadi! 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 Azadi!
Joining us at this point is Suresh Kumar Goel, former ambassador. We also have Major Narjit Dwivedi, strategic affairs analyst, joining us live. Rajiv Chunni, POK activist, joins us live. Also Sumit Peer, political commentator, is also with us. Let me make a start with you, Rajiv Chunni. What is the situation in POK? What are you hearing on ground?
जी बोलिए।
राजीव चुन्नी, क्या मेरी आवाज आप तक पहुंच रही है?
जी 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 आ रही है।
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं राजीव चुन्नी, सिचुएशन क्या है, स्थिति क्या है वहां जमीनी स्तर पर? क्या सुन रहे हैं आप? क्या चीजें काबू में हैं या अभी भी तनाव है वहां पे पीओके इलाकों में?
जो हालात वहां बने हुए हैं, इसका अंदाजा लोगों को उसी दिन लग गया था जब पाकिस्तान ने इस पर नाजायज कब्जा किया था। हालांकि वो एक ऐसा पीरियड था, देखें सीज फायर के बाद भी, जब सीज फायर का ऐलान हुआ, एक क्रूशल माइग्रेशन पीरियड था कि 1954 तक जो चाहे इस तरफ आ सकता है, जो चाहे यहां से पार दूसरे हिस्से में जा सकता है जम्मू कश्मीर के। हम लोगों ने हिंदुस्तान की तरफ मुंह किया और खाली हिंदू सिख नहीं आए, मैं कई ऐसे मुस्लिम परिवारों को जानता हूं जिन्होंने इस बात का अंदाजा लगा लिया कि पाकिस्तान के साथ रहना अक्लमंदी नहीं है, तो वो भी हमारे साथ इस तरफ पलायन कर कर आ गए। आज वो लोग यहाँ ये सोचते हैं कि हमारा वो फैसला ठीक था, लेकिन जिन लोगों ने पाकिस्तान को चुना, और क्योंकि आपको पता है तब ये भी एक थ्योरी थी कि जम्मू कश्मीर का विलय ना हिंदुस्तान में किया जाए ना पाकिस्तान में किया जाए, इसको एक तीसरा देश बनाया जाए, और ऐसी सोच के लोग कुछ हमारे जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर भी थे। और आज वो सोच रहे होंगे कि हमने वो कौन सी काली रात थी जब ये फैसला कर लिया कि पाकिस्तान के साथ रहना है। आज उनकी हालत ये है। और मैं आपकी जानकारी के लिए बता दूं कि जो हिस्सा हमारा आज पाकिस्तान के पास है, उसमें इतने रिसोर्सेज थे हमारे, आप जल की बात करें, पानी की बात करें, इतनी नदियां हैं हमारी जहां पर कितनी बिजली की पैदावार हो सकती है, कितने खनिज पदार्थ हैं। और पर्यटन स्थलों की मैं बात करूं, हमारे पास एक वीडियोग्राफ एक है हमारे पास जो हमने ड्रोन से बनाया है, कभी आपका चैनल हमसे मांगेगा हम देंगे। इतने खूबसूरत नज़ारे हैं उस जगह पर, लेकिन आज उसको नर्क बनाकर पाकिस्तान ने रख दिया। क्यों बनाया है? क्योंकि पाकिस्तान की अपनी हालत भी जो है वो ठीक नहीं है। और मैं ये समझता हूं कि ये लोग आज भी अगर अपने आप को नहीं सुधरेंगे, क्योंकि इनमें से आज भी कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो ये नारा दे रहे हैं। अभी आप बता रहे थे कि आजादी चाहिए, और मैं आपकी जानकारी के लिए बता दूं, इनमें से कई लोग ऐसे हैं जो आज भी ये सोचते हैं कि आजादी हिंदुस्तान से भी चाहिए, आजादी पाकिस्तान से भी चाहिए। उनको ये मैं बता दूं कि आप कहीं गलत मुगालते में हो, आप मारे जाओगे। आप अगर हिंदुस्तान की तरफ आना चाहते हो, हम हाथ बढ़ाकर आपका साथ देंगे। क्योंकि आप हमारे लोग हैं, आप हमारी ही धरती के लोग हैं, हमारे उस रियासत के लोग हैं जिसको हम अपना इंटेग्रल पार्ट कहते हैं। लेकिन ये कहना, और आज आप देखो पाकिस्तान ने क्या हालत बना दी है। जिन जगहों से हम आए हैं, मैं मीरपुर से हूं, मेरे इलाके पर आज इन्होंने मंगला डैम बनाया है, और सारे पाकिस्तान की बिजली की आपूर्ति जो है उस डैम से होती है। लेकिन इस पाक अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर को 1 रुपए की रॉयल्टी तक पाकिस्तान नहीं देता, कोई मदद नहीं होती। महंगाई की इतनी मार है, कोई नौकरी नहीं है, सड़क मार्ग नहीं है, कोई हवाई मार्ग नहीं है, कोई दूसरे आप कह लें कि कोई बड़े बड़े कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी, कुछ भी चीज आपको यहां दिखाई नहीं देती। तो इस तरह से ये लोग क्या करेंगे? चिल्लाएंगे नहीं तो कहां जाएंगे? मैं समझता हूं कि इन लोगों को अब भी होश में आना चाहिए। हम लोग आगे बढ़कर मदद करेंगे। ये हमारा रिजॉल्व है पार्लियामेंट का कि पाकिस्तान अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर भारत का अभिन्न अंग है। लेकिन पहले ये लोग अपनी सोच बदलें, इस बात के लिए तैयार हो जाएं। आप देखें, आज भी वो उस जम्मू कश्मीर को आजाद जम्मू कश्मीर कहते हैं, हम उसको गुलाम जम्मू कश्मीर कहते हैं, लेकिन वो लोग उसको आजाद जम्मू कश्मीर कहते हैं। ये अपना माइंडसेट उनको बदलना पड़ेगा। वो भाई साहब वो आजाद नहीं है। अगर आजाद होते तो पाकिस्तान आज उनकी छाती पर गोलियां ना चला रहा होता। पाकिस्तान आज उनको घसीट घसीट कर मार ना रहा होता, पाकिस्तान आज उनको एक रोटी के टुकड़े के लिए भी तरसा ना रहा होता। आज बड़ी बुरी हालत में वो लोग हैं। मुझे चिंता होती है, मुझे दुख होता है। मेरा घर है वहां पर, मेरे लोग हैं, हम एक ही जमीन पर जन्मे हैं, वहीं पर बड़े हुए हैं, वहीं पर पले हैं। लेकिन दुख होता है कि मैंने जो फैसला किया, मेरा फैसला ठीक निकला, लेकिन मेरे साथियों ने फैसला किया, वो फैसला गलत साबित हुआ और आज वो पछता रहे हैं। तो आज मैं कहता हूं कि यूनाइटेड नेशन वाले कहां सोए हुए हैं, उनको आगे आकर जो मानव अधिकारों का हनन हो रहा है मेरे उस इलाके में, मेरे उन लोगों के ऊपर, आगे आकर पाकिस्तान को पूरे देश, पूरी दुनिया के अंदर एक्सपोज करना पड़ेगा कि आप देखें कि किस तरीके से वहां पर मानव अधिकारों का हनन हो रहा है। रिसोर्सेज इन लोगों के इस्तेमाल हो रहे हैं, लेकिन काम पाकिस्तान के अंदर हो रहा है। ये चीजें हमें दुख देती हैं, हमें तकलीफ देती हैं। और सच्ची बात मैं बता रहा हूं कि आज हमें मन से दुख है कि मेरे साथी, मेरे वतन के रहने वाले लोग आज इस हालत में हैं। और आज मैं कहता हूं मेरा देश भी तैयार है, मेरी फौज भी तैयार है। वो लोग पहले ये बात कहें कि हमें आजादी पाकिस्तान से चाहिए, एक रात के अंदर हम उनके पास पहुंच जाएंगे और अपने साथ लेकर आएंगे। पहले उनको भी उठ के खड़ा होना पड़ेगा और आज के बाद भी ये फैसला करना पड़ेगा कि ना पाकिस्तान हमारा था, ना पाकिस्तान हमारा होगा और ना पाकिस्तान हमारा रहेगा। अगर ये बात वो कहें तो पूरे तरीके से भारत की पूरी जनता, पूरा देश, पूरी दुनिया उनके साथ है। धन्यवाद
जी। मैं एम्बेसडर गोयल का भी रुख करना चाहता हूं इस वक्त। एम्बेसडर सुरेश कुमार गोयल, pretty shocking details, of course, emerging from POK. Do you believe this is really the last straw, the death knell? Really, obviously, citizens of POK saying now they want independence, they've had enough.
Uday, did you say this is the last straw? I wish it were really, because I've been watching this drama unfolding over the last many, many years. And therefore, it is difficult for me to say that this is the last straw. And the reason is very, very simple. I'm not going to say that what is happening is right or wrong, but I'm only going to talk about the ground situation and what it really means. The fact is that the POK, particularly the area closer to the LOC, has become the place infested with the terrorist camps. Now, you all know that that is a strategy by Pakistan to keep India under pressure. I would hate to say that this is all about Jammu and Kashmir only. It is not. It is about Jammu and Kashmir, but it is also to keep India perennially and constantly under pressure using this element of terrorism. Most of the are across the LOC in POK or POJK. Now, given the kind of a situation, strategic importance of this for Pakistan, it is going to be very, very, will be very unusual if Pakistan would give up their control over POJK in a simple manner and say that, all right, you want to leave, leave. It won't happen that way. It will happen, it will mean a long kind of a struggle. It would mean involvement of the militaries. It would mean involvement of, I'm not bothered about the international community. I've seen them functioning in the United Nations, etc. Eventually, the international relations are basically the currency, is basically the game of power. Whoever has the power to rule, they will rule. You look at the USA, you look at what is happening in Europe, you look at what China is doing. That is not the point. The point really is, what is Indian objective? What do people in POJK want? Do they want to be away from Pakistan? Even if they want to be away from Pakistan, this situation is going to be even more difficult than Gilgit-Baltistan. And I'm saying this simply because of the instrument that it provides to Pakistan to keep India strategically under pressure. And therefore, I would say, with all sympathies for not just the people, and also in our objective, frankly speaking, we have fought tooth and nail everywhere to on a principled position on POJK. But I don't think it's going to happen very soon. It's going to be easy. We need to basically struggle. My take would be, and I'm going to say it here, even though I would never say it in the public forum, but our strategy should be to really support the people in POJK as much as we can, through whatever means we can. Just like they say they support people in Jammu and Kashmir in their struggle for freedom. We can say that we will support people in POJK in their struggle for freedom from Pakistan. Let us do that. I think that's the only way. Otherwise, this kind of a thing is only going to basically be more difficult, and it's not going to be easy. Therefore, not the last straw. It is going to be a long battle. Uday.
Right. Let me also take that across to Sumit Peer as well. Sumit Peer, what do you believe is the latest trigger that is causing these protests, this violence on ground in the POK region? Many are saying that the time is right. They can't afford food and power. This is the time for India to step in. They need us.
Uday, thank you very much for having me on your show. I've been tracking this very closely for the last couple of days or last weeks. Look, Uday, there are a couple of things which have happened which are different from last time. First of all, I've seen videos wherein people are saying, I'll say in Hindi, कि तुम पाकिस्तानी फौज बांग्लादेश गए थे कत्तर में, तुम्हारी बंगालियों ने पतलून उतारी थी, यहाँ आओगे तो वही हाल करेंगे. This is what POJK people are saying now. It's not what I'm alleging. There are videos, I can send you a few. Point number two, they have, according to sources, they have killed more than 50 to 100 people, which are innocent civilians. They have killed and slaughtered them. They have got Punjab police and they have got rangers who opened fire on the people. So people have also retaliated, but they cannot match, Punjab police and rangers. So the death toll is quite high. Even the sources are telling us there are 18 to 19 casualties of rangers plus police together. Now, there's a video which shows SSG commandos are brought in. They have got Fauj out in Lahore. They have got Fauj out in Rawalpindi. That is the situation what is happening in ground. Because they are seeing a groundswell which they cannot handle now. Why? Because the people of POJK have been deprived from anything. Even the university degrees there do not work in mainland. Food inflation. For example, I'll give you an example. They buy power from them at 2 rupees 75 paisa a unit and sell it to them back at 70 rupees a unit. So how can this be done? And no food, no nothing. When a whole of Pakistan gets whatever is left, chota mota, that is given to the people of POJK. They see no future. They had one last hope that someday the trade with India will open and all that. And after Modi ji's recent interview to one of the channels where he said that things are gone. So that is not going to happen. And there is one more geopolitical angle to it, Uday. After Pakistan has started cozying up to Iran, and Americans have warned up of things. Now we know American CIA and all is capable of fermenting trouble. So if Pakistan thinks they can play the double game with Americans and Iran at their convenience, so that's not going to happen. After Modi's interview and after, they refusing Americans that we'll do whatever is in our national interest. Recently, Iranian president was there. Chinese were there. Saudis were there. They were going to North Koreans were there. So whatever is happening there, they were cooking something. And there are sources, as per sources, there are reports in the social media wherein they even claim that Iran has already worked out a deal to get a nuclear bomb from Pakistan and China has given authorization for that. The blueprint is them. With those things happening on the ground, what will happen in the POJK is a legitimate strike because the people are tired. They see no hope today. India has said we are not going to do anything. And yesterday, Dr. Jaishankar even said that we will not integrate whole of Pakistan with India. When he was asked a question that will you also get the people? He said, if you're talking about the people, that 24 crore people, everybody will come and sit in POJK. That's not going to happen. So the hope is dying. Pakistan is not able to support them. And now they're killing and slaughtering innocent people. There are geopolitical angles to it. Though they will allege it's all done by RAW and all. Why should RAW do it? Why should we do it? Because there is disgruntlement there on the ground and you are messing up with powerful countries in the world. After taking their money, you're not delivering. So there are repercussions. You're going to hit your doorstep. It's a natural thing. And on the top of that, you are killing and slaughtering people now because you have no solutions. They have highest number of missing people after Balochistan is in POJK. Rapes, abductions, killings. After Balochistan, number 2 in Pakistan is POJK. How long can these people handle your atrocities? And when they're telling you, bhai tum Punjabi niklo yahan se, and this arrangers get out of here, what is your problem? You are here to slaughter people. That also shatters the myth that Pakistanis are for Kashmir. No, they are only interested in the land and resources, not for the people of Kashmir. Here, Muslims are killing Muslims. The people who are getting killed are Muslims, and the people who are killing them are Muslims. This is a wake-up call for the people in our part of the Kashmir who still have some hallucinations about Pakistan. Today, Pakistan stands exposed, and their people are threatening them for 1971. This is not what I am saying. There are videos out there, they are threatening them for 1971. So will it go like now? I agree with Ambassador Goel, it is not going to go like now. But the things have gone very, very tough for Pakistan so that unki majburi ho gayi are killing innocent civilians and taking casualties on the army of rangers. So this is a very serious turn of events. But eventually it's a matter of time. Now the POJK will move out of Pakistan. Now, will we intervene or not? That's the call the government of India has to take. I'm nobody to comment on that. But whatever is happening in POJK is something what Pakistani government cannot handle. Unki औकात के बाहर का काम हो गया, sir. Uday.
Yes, General Dwivedi, let me take that across to you because obviously this is something now that is going very, very unfortunate with each passing day. The situation, of course, extremely tense, extremely precarious. Strikes continue. Hundreds have been injured in clashes with the police there. General Dwivedi, what do you make of it?
Mark Twain, he had very famously stated that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And that's exactly what is happening in Pakistan. Because having fought 1971 war, the conditions in Bangladesh, then erstwhile East Pakistan, were similar. And that's how I say that history rhymes, and I reinforce that statement. Now, when we look at Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, we need to understand it is in two dimensions. One are purely regional and internal, and second are the larger geopolitical picture. In Pakistan, all the minorities have been maltreated, exploited, and they have been governed with the rule of the gun. And that's exactly what has happened in POJK as well as in Gilgit-Baltistan. You see, these people have not had any benefit of whatever progress that has taken place in Pakistan. Number two, Pakistan is totally debt-ridden. They have a debt of about $125 billion, and each year the debt servicing itself is about $4.5 billion. And they are exploiting not only Mangla Dam, the another dam that has come up in Pakistan occupied Kashmir is the Diamond Basha Dam. And that's where the Chinese have come in big way. Today, Chinese are a big player in this region because it's almost like leased out to Chinese. So the point I'm trying to make is that what we are seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. The situation is going to further deteriorate because Pakistan policy has been always to exploit the minorities, exploit the free states. Now, what should India do? I think when Pakistan is openly supporting the cause of Kashmir on every forum, why should we be shy? We should come out very clearly and say that we also lend political support to both Pakistan occupied Kashmir and as well as Gilgit-Baltistan, and not only others, even Balochistan and and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So I would end up by making three very important statements. One, Pakistan is on the verge of implosion. And that implosion is taking place in all the frontline states, whether Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, or POK, or Gilgit-Baltistan, point number one. Secondly, Pakistan is sinking further and further deeper into the economic crisis. And they are only being bailed out by China or Saudi Arabia or other friends, and situation going to worsen further. And third point is that we should be prepared to lend a helping hand to these minorities because after all, Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan are our territory, and we need to be more politically proactive to lend them the support in whatever fashion that is possible. Uday.
Yes. Does this though set the stage, for further protests as well? Sumit Peer, what do you believe is going to, be the situation in the next few weeks there? Since you've been tracking this very, very closely, have things calmed down or are they only going to get worse in the next few days?
I think, Uday, if you track from yesterday to today, yesterday it was bad, today it is ugly, it is dirty, it is full of blood. Now, what we are talking of killings, the maximum killings have happened from morning to when we are talking. They have slaughtered a lot of innocent Kashmiris today. They have opened their AKs and they're just killing people. There are so many videos out in the social media and we're getting from WhatsApp groups and here and there. They're just slaughtering people. They're just, it's like a Jallianwala Bagh, which is happening there in POJK. Now the Pakistan army knows it is losing control. Even Rangers have got a lot of casualties. The police has got a lot of casualties. That's why they have got SSG commandos now into the picture. Now, which country deploys SSG commandos to kill innocent civilians? That is what is happening. The things are going to come up because for now it's now or never. The only thing is that do we want to intervene now? I think it's a Bangladesh-like situation, which is almost we are reaching there. Now, do we have a Sheikh Mujibur Rahman or not on the ground? I don't know. Have we cultivated one? I don't know. But there's a 1971 kind of a situation. But the careful thing or the word of caution here is when you're talking of the land, you have to be sure of the liability. Because you want the land, you don't want the liability. You don't want the jihadis and these terrorist camps and these Wahhabized people to come along and become a part of India. Definitely we don't want. And we don't want the demographics of the India to change. What we are definitely interested in, what I definitely want to see, I want the land to come, but I don't want the liability to come. So there's a check and balance. How does India act to balance between the two? Minimum cost, maximum land, minimalistic liability. That is what we have to look at it. Now, what is the strategy of the government of India? I don't know, but we have to be very careful because the things are getting out of control and looking at the kind of terrain Uday it is. You see, ultimately, Pakistani Rangers and Punjab police will not be able to control the Pakistan wala Punjab, I mean. They will not be able to control it because the terrain is such. And a lot of these people also have guns. If you look at how many people in KPK have guns, everybody has a gun. Sindh, they have guns. Pakistan has a lot of guns. The question I always tell them is, you have an army of 5 lakh. And you have around 15 crore guns which are there in the population. How can a 5 lakh army with 5 lakh guns control a country with 10 or 15 crore guns? Ultimately, you will have a bloodbath one day because your economy is breaking or you are shattering everywhere. But what are the implications to India? How do we prepare on the border? Do we have implications? Do we have these possibility of mass people trying to enter the Indian border? Yes, we have. So we have to be also watch the situation and prepare for the eventualities and let the government of India take the best call. I think they're the people who know what best to do. But my take is only, I love the land. I don't love the liability.
Yes. How should India be viewing this evolving situation, Ambassador Goel?
Uday, I must say, I was listening to Sumit Peer, Mr. Sumit Peer very, very carefully. And I'm so happy that he made a distinction between the land and the liabilities. And I think it's quite clear what he means by the liabilities. And I really shudder to think what actually it would mean in terms of the actual happenings on the ground. It is, I mean, if I were to think of the same thing in terms of Bangladesh, would it mean that basically Bangladesh bereft of Muslim Bengalis? Or are we saying that we will have the POJK come integrate with India, bereft of the population there? And mind you, there is a population, I do not know the percentage. Sumit knows the position much better than I do. He keeps his ears to the ground as far as J&K is concerned. So I do not know what percentage, but there is a percentage which calls for Azadi. And what does Azadi for them mean? And there is a percentage who basically are looking for greater facilities from the Pakistani government. So what do they do? And as Sumit described so eloquently, there are jihadis camps, jihadis there. So what are we going to do with them? Are we going to basically say that all right, you guys all leave, going to Pakistan and just give us a land? I don't know how it is going to happen really. And therefore, I think rather than thinking of a possible solution scenarios under the circumstances which take me to a pendulum-like situation from one extreme to the other, I better keep quiet and leave it to the people who basically have their ears to the ground and work the situation out there and face it afterward. Just 1 second, I want to say that. I also want to say that we have to face it, whether we like it, we don't like it, different ideologies, whatever it is. Fortunately, I belong to only one ideology, and that is India. But if we were to follow the similar ideology, are we going to create another land for the Muslims from India? Whether that 20 CR or 18 CR or 22 CR, whatever the number is, we are thinking of unthinkables really here. So I think the only solution is really to basically find something where we can create harmony and livability together. But unfortunately, I see that I will be the only voice in the wilderness here, and therefore I will keep quiet. Thank you, Uday.
All right, my thanks to all of our guests for joining us. It's time for a short break. Much more on the other side.
Predictor on 1X Bet. Only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go.
Co-powered by
PolicyBazaar.com. हर फैमिली होगी इंश्योर्ड।
मेरे पापा का लाखों का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम पूरा रिजेक्ट हो गया। फिर मुझे पॉलिसी बाजार के क्लेम समाधान दिवस के बारे में पता लगा, जिसमें हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस कंपनी ने क्लेम रिव्यू करके अप्रूव कर दिया और क्लेम का सारा पैसा हमारे अकाउंट में आ गया।
पॉलिसी बाजार पे 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
We are doing the road stop and we have the Union Minister Piyush Goyal with us.
मोदी के आने के बाद तो बहुत बदलाव हो गया, अभी वही करेगा राज।
There is no part of Uttar Mumbai which I have not visited in the last 1 month.
Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination papers for the Varanasi parliamentary seat today in the presence of senior leaders of the NDA, saying he would continue to work for all-round development and welfare of people with new energy. Prime Minister Modi, who reached Varanasi and held a 6-kilometer-long roadshow yesterday, offered prayers at Dashashwamedh Ghat on the banks of the Ganga before proceeding to the Baba Kal Bhairav temple, known as the custodian of Kashi, where he offered prayers to the presiding deity before heading to the Varanasi district collectorate. The NDA leaders who accompanied PM Modi were former Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, Union Minister Ramdas Athawale, Lok Janshakti Party Chief Chirag Paswan, Rashtriya Lokdal Chief Jayant Chaudhary, Rashtriya Lok Janshakti Party President Pashupati Paras, Hindustani Awam Morcha Chief Jitana Majhi, also Upendra Kushwaha was present, Anupriya Patel was present too, as were Sanjay Nishad and O.P. Rajbhar. There were also chief ministers of many BJP-ruled states. And of course, the big question certainly is, with Jayant Shinde, Praful Sangma, Naidu and Nitish, has BJP built a solid front in the form of the NDA? Will Varanasi's show of strength be a counter to the India alliance, which has also done similar show of strengths? Let me go straight across to our guests who are joining us live. Jasmine Sandavalia, BJP spokesperson, is live with us. We also have Sujata Paul, Congress spokesperson, joining us live. Deshat Nigam, political analyst, is live with us. Gyanendra Mishra, political analyst, is also joining us live. Sujata Paul, let me begin with you first. It's a big show of strength by, of course, Prime Minister Modi in Varanasi, as the PM, of course, filed his nomination. But not just the BJP, the NDA was there in full force as well. How do you see the show of strength, and do you believe this is an ineffective counter to the India alliance's shows of strength that we've seen in the past?
This is a complete ineffective counter, rather. And why do I say that? Because it is the NDA which is now being projected, because all these years, Mr. Modi had forgotten the NDA. And now the various parties that they have taken into the NDA recently, and of course, we know all the corrupt people who are part of this, this entire group and this ND alliance, is clearly out there to tell people that yes, we are an alliance, because Mr. Modi is very scared that, you know, what is going to happen after the elections, because he knows very well he's in such a weak position today that after elections, when he doesn't get the numbers, those who are standing with him as part of the NDA are all going to fritter away. And if we take the example of what happened in Maharashtra, that is exactly what is going to happen, you know, in the coming times. And Mr. Modi obviously is trying to do some damage control and send out some messages, but he's also showing that he is at his weakest. And why do I say that? Because since 2002, I would say that he has projected himself as a very strong leader, and after 2014, he showed weakness, but in 2019, after Pulwama happened, he asked for votes in the name of the martyrs, and that is why the country stood with him. And all of us stood with our government as far as our martyrs were concerned. But today, what we are seeing is something that we haven't seen in the last 10 years. Where was the NDA? Why was it not there? This show of strength of the entire ND alliance, it wasn't there in 2019 during his nomination either. So it's very clear that he knows that he is weak, and he's only trying to use the, you know, use his interviews with various media persons and this show of so-called strength to prove that he's in an okay position.
All right, let's get a response from Jasmine Sandavalia. Jasmine Sandavalia, what was the messaging, according to you, from Varanasi of course, the roadshow of the Prime Minister? Today, many NDA leaders also present to support the Prime Minister in his nomination, and your response also to Sujata Paul of the Congress's points.
Well, it's a moment of great triumph for the BJP, and it is a great day for us because for the third time, our party has always stood committedly with Mr. Modi, and we believe that it is Mr. Modi who has led the country for a decade, and he has gone to file his nomination paper. And when the Congress spokesperson says that it is at his weakest moment. No, I would like to correct her. It is his moment of great glory and triumph that he is standing there today tall, one of the tallest leaders that India has produced since 1947, or maybe earlier also, I would say. He's one of our tallest leaders. And if I may correct the Congress spokesperson, NDA or our Prime Minister has had the vision to always take its allies along with it. And it is a moment of great pride for us that all our ally partners were standing tall with us, committed to our ideology, committed for a better India. And India is a mother of democracy. And today we prove to the people that our ally partners will stand with us. While on the other hand, if you notice, our opposition, they cannot even marshal two different political leaders together to go and file their papers. So they are a divided house. Let them not. In fact, it isn't from the point of weakness that they're saying that this is not a moment of triumph for us. It is a great moment for us, and we shall do the third hat trick.
Okay, let me take that across to Deshat Nigam as well. Deshat Nigam, obviously the BJP relying a lot on its NDA partners, from Chandrababu Naidu to Jayant Chaudhary to Chirag Paswan and Pashupati Paras to, of course, also Conrad Sangma. You know, from the south to north to east, everyone was represented. Praful Patel also there, of course, from the west. Do you believe, A, that the NDA is looking solid in this election? Do you believe these are formidable partners that the BJP has managed to stitch alliances with? And also, what was the messaging, according to you, of what was taking place in Varanasi? Because, you know, a lot of things in politics are done for optics, as we saw today.
Yes, Uday. In fact, NDA is a unified alliance, which is very clear because it has already been established, and during the last 5 years, what we had seen also, even in the parliament, the voting pattern also shows that this is a very unified alliance. Therefore, what we see and the optics we saw in Varanasi was wonderful. The kind of road shows that we see with the Prime Minister, it has gone beyond voting. It is no more about voting now. It is about the emotional connect and the see people, you know, spontaneously being there, whatever the other parties or the opposition parties say, but the spontaneous sea of humanity for the road shows, and there is a qualitative difference, although in numbers also, huge numbers, when you see the Prime Minister is there in the road shows. The qualitative difference that I have seen with the road shows of the Congress or some of the opposition parties is something, you see the emotion is missing in those road shows. There could be numbers and some there could not be numbers, but the kind of emotional connect that we have seen of the Prime Minister with the people in those road shows, whether it is north, south, east, west, those are phenomenal, and that is what creates a wave. That emotional connect creates a wave. This is what we have seen. Unified NDA is obviously a bad news for the other side, and believe me, there is a tsunami on the ground. Those people who are disconnected with the ground are saying BJP is going to get less numbers. But as I have said on your channel, I have already predicted that they are going to very comfortably cross the previous numbers and cross 400. NDA will cross 400. So instead of, getting into the numbers, who's there, who's not there, the emotional connect that we see from the people, and in absolute numbers in first 3 phases, the voters have gone up. Or maybe 2 to 3% the vote has gone down, but in absolute numbers, the number of voters have gone down. Even in phase 4, as of now, it is less than 1% difference. So, and when the real figures come, it may cross. The real, the areas that are going to vote for in the next 5, 6, 7th election phase are BJP's strongholds, and therefore BJP comfortable. My predictions are going to be all right.
Okay. Let me get in Gyanendra Mishra as well for his take. Gyanendra Mishra, you heard what Mr. Nigam had to say. You can, of course, respond to him. He believes the scale of the roadshow that we saw in Varanasi was nothing like we've seen before, nothing like any opposition leader could achieve so far in the Lok Sabha election. Do you agree with him? And also, as far as the NDA versus India debate is concerned, whose show of strength are you more impressed with?
So obviously, when you look at it in the terms of pomp and show, obviously it was a spectacular show. But in my view, it is in a kind of a reflection on the stress that the BJP and its allies are now feeling about the outcome of the election. We all know that when the election started, everybody was expecting BJP to perform well and its allies to perform well. But as the election has progressed, there is seemingly a huge, concern in the ruling dispensation about even retaining the seats that they have today. And therefore, today's show of strength in the Varanasi is a kind of a reflection for a moral boosting, not only for BJP, but its allies as well. And therefore, everybody was summoned to be present in the Prime Minister's nomination. Obviously, see, that's the BJP's strategy, what it wants to do about the way it wants to project the Prime Minister's nomination and make a big show out of it. But on the one hand, you see the people, the BJP and its allies are talking about that we are comfortable for getting the 400 seats. But on the other hand, the kind of efforts that now you see, more in terms of, the polarization, more in terms of putting, the extra effort in terms of, taking along the allies, giving importance to allies, requesting everybody to speak in the same language, is a reflection that there is some shaking in the confidence of the ruling dispensations about their performance in the coming Lok Sabha. And, the people at the ground who are reporting at the ground is clearly speaking and predicting that it will be very difficult for BJP even to maintain its, the last tally, the seats, and BJP they come down, somewhere around 250 to 240. Because, when the BJP and its supporters talk about that BJP and its ally, BJP alone is getting more than 350 seats, and with ally it is crossing 400. You see, it seems very, it looks like very clear that this argument or this assertion is completely devoid of merit and commitment. See, if you ask anybody that from where these 50 seats, more seats are coming, because when you look at all the important northern and eastern states, the BJP has performed at its best. This tally strike rate is almost above 80%. And nobody would tell that the performance of the BJP government is such that people are going to vote more than what they have voted for BJP in 2019. There is an almost a clear understanding, even when you talk to BJP leaders off record, they'll tell you that there are states like Bihar, there are states like Rajasthan, Haryana, Delhi, and even in some part of UP, where it will be very difficult for the BJP to repeat its performance of 2019. And BJP is going to lose some seats here and there without any clear indication or assertion from where those seats will be compensated. Because even people is talking about, as far as the Karnataka is concerned, Telangana is concerned, BJP will not be able to maintain its previous elections tally without any seemingly gain in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So therefore, the question, that I basically trying to grapple with, that when you say that BJP is almost, touching up 350 and with ally crossing 400, and if you ask to give that data from which states they believe that those 40 more seats is coming, there would be no answer, I am very sure. But if you ask from where they are losing seats, which states where they have performed, almost at the top level, there everybody would say that yes, in these few states, BJP is going to lose some, substantive number of seats without any corresponding clear gain in any other state where it has not performed so well. So you may create in pomp and show, using your machinery, using your, position, summoning your allies to be present. But at the ground reality and the way the voters are feeling about...
Okay, let's get a response from Deshrata Nigam, then I'll go back to Sujata Paul. Yes, Ms. Nigam.
Yes, let me tell you one thing. Mr. Gyanen Mishra is slightly confused about the number of seats that BJP is going to get. The fact remains that BJP is already, as per our reports, BJP is already sweeping the north side and improving the tally in West Bengal, number one party in West Bengal, number one party in Odisha, Telangana and Andhra. These are the humongous gains. And if the South, the trend is showing in the South, in Karnataka, obviously they will turn out to be one of the biggest chunk and you will be surprised. And the gain, the amount of gain that we are talking about, Chhattisgarh is a foregone conclusion for BJP, including Madhya Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, humongous number of seats they are getting. Above 70, that's a conservative about. And therefore, today what we see, BJP is very comfortably placed and the phases to come are, believe me, are wonderful. The NDA is going to get majority in the fourth phase itself and BJP will get majority on its own in the fifth phase. Mark my words. This is my estimate. Uday.
Sujata Paul.
To listen to these weak, feeble attempts at mustering a victory only in imagination, because like Mr. Modi has been talking only about the M word, but the M word only related to mata and machli, Musalman, mandir, masjid, and he forgot the women of Manipur, he forgot the mahilas, he forgot so many other things, mehengai. And let me also tell you that I have spent 4.5 months on the ground in Telangana. So I know exactly how people are thinking. And of course, when you are in a particular place and you're working on the ground, then you see phases and you see, different parties working and you understand what is happening. But let me also remind Mr. Deshrata Nigam that you cannot get more seats in Haryana, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh than what you have already got. In UP, of course, 62 out of 80. Then if you look at Bihar, look at the number of seats that they've ceded to their ally over there. So the fact is that I come from Uttarakhand and there were villages that used to vote for the BJP and they have boycotted the elections this time. And the Ankita Bandari case has really been important. The paper leak issue, people are, because they have been suffering all these years, people are not talking. And I said on the, when the first phase was happening, on that day also I was saying that there is a very strong undercurrent. I can't make out what is happening. But as the elections have proceeded, we have seen what exactly we are talking about. But yes, when you talk about the last 75 years not having a great leader, I am amazed. We got freedom because of these great leaders, and what an insult the BJP spokesperson has inflicted on all those people who got us our freedom, because she feels
but do you believe that the optics of Kashi, the massive roadshow that we saw yesterday, the show of strength today has set the tone and tenor for the next three phases? Is that something that the opposition will have a tough time competing with?
All noise and no fury. And why do I say it? Of course, it was spectacular, the grand show, and Mr. Modi is a master at that. So all that pomp and show could only show us somebody who was pompous, but not somebody with ground connect, with people connect. Because when you are talking about Mr. Modi's popularity, of course he was popular. Of course, people believed in his promises, which turned out to be jumlas. But one important thing, mother of democracy, isn't that what they keep saying? Remember that when mother of democracy is autocracy, that is where that is where democracy will spring from. So Mr. Modi has given us an autocratic rule, and that is where democracy is going to come back and get established.
Well, I'm not going to ramble on like the Congress spokesperson has gone ahead, but I'm going to defeat her facts just 2 or 3 times on 2 main issues. First of all, when she says that Modi has done nothing for women, I'm only going to say that Modi is one prime minister who has gotten the women reservation bill. This was started by Rajiv Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi was the longest serving president of the party, and this was never initiated by her. Never. She never pursued the bill that it should be passed. Then she says, no, I never interrupted her, so she should not. She should show me the same courtesy. Then when she says pomp and show, it is not Madam Pomp and Show. It is our sheer strength. We believe in our allies. Our allies are standing strong with us. It is your divided house. It is an absolutely divided house. And when you say that he does not connect with the people, here is a prime minister who talks in a lingo which an average Indian understands, while Rahul Gandhi has even gone on saying that how much is 1 liter of wheat. Now, there is a huge disconnect between your leaders and our leader. Here is somebody who has risen up from the ground, who understands what it is to be poor, who understands what are the ramifications to be poor and lower middle class, and he has catered to them. So to say that we have put up a show, yes, it is a show of strength, it is a show of might, it's a show of triumph that India believes in Narendra Modi. And I rest my case.
Yes,
Can I come in? Yes. You know, I must tell the BJP spokesperson that when there's a slip of tongue, there is also a 5-ton that came from Amit Shah. But from the Prime Minister at the World Economic Forum, he said that there were 600 crore people in India who had voted for him. Can you answer why he said that? Women's reservation bill will come when? After 10 years? After 15 years? By that time, the present generation of leaders, are they going to be implementing it? Very important. This is the Prime Minister whose lingo includes घुसपैठिए, whose lingo includes बहुत सारे बच्चे पैदा करने वाले, when he himself is part of 6 siblings or 7 siblings, whatever. Nali se gas nikalna, when he should have been encouraging people to think about scientific temper and encouraging people on that. But he is the
because a lot of analysts have said, Sujata Paul, that it's the women who actually who turn out to support the Prime Minister and the BJP. We saw that in the assembly elections. Why do you believe that will change this time?
I'll tell you why. Because they are reeling under the pressures of Mehngai, and when he tells Rajasthan that you're going to get gas cylinders for 500 rupees, why can't I get a gas cylinder for 500 rupees? Why do I have to pay 822? Why are our children not getting jobs? Why are 30 lakh government jobs lying vacant in the central government?
Well, she had, in a private conversation, said that BJP is an autocracy. What did Indira Gandhi do to this country? I'm quoting from history. What did she do? She imposed emergency on India. Are we talking about autocracy here? Why, look at what BJP has done. BJP is the only political party which has given justice to a minority, to the Sikhs. And what did you do in 1984? Please do check your history and your historical facts and then come and say anything against the BJP.
If you talk about 1984, I will remind you of 2002.
It's very easy to talk about.
I will remind you of 2002. What happened in Gujarat? Can you answer that? Have some shame. You talk about Indira Gandhi. She is the one who divided Pakistan into 2 parts. So she changed the geography of this country. She didn't go around changing names. You are the one. Your Prime Minister, not the Prime Minister of the country, encourages Prajwal Revanna, a rapist, a mass rapist has been promoted by you. Ved Bhushan Charan Singh, you are in his Charan because you want to bring down Yogi Adityanath. That is the truth. That is the truth. What action have you taken against Prajwal Revanna? You answer that. Why is Prajwal Revanna absconding? Why was he allowed to leave the country? You will not be able to answer because you stand with rapists. That is what the BJP stands for.
Okay. Well, we've run out of time. We're going to have to leave it at that. Gyanendra Mishra, last word to you, 30 seconds. I have to slip into a break then.
As I said, Uday, I think we are, when you look at it, this 10 years of anti-incumbency, the united oppositions now, standing with full strength against the ruling dispensation, the diminishing aura of the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, his failure to performance on multiple aspects of the governance. And if you say that these things will have no impact on the people, people are totally oblivious of these developments, and rather you are telling that the people are going to vote and repose confidence in a greater way in the ruling dispensation and the BJP government, I find this argument highly unpalpable from my understanding of the politics and the mood of the electorate. I believe that this election is going to really throw some interesting result. It is a great and interesting elections to be watched for. Very difficult for anybody to predict the outcome. But yes, there are this time no wave, and there is a real fight on each and every seats where the ruling dispensation and the opposition alliance is fighting. So we will have to wait and watch the result of outcome, and it may really surprise the country. That's my estimation.
Okay. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. Let's quickly address some breaking news now that's coming in. One person has died in a recent fire that occurred at the Central Revenue Building in the ITO area. The victim, who was 46 years old, used to work as an office superintendent over there. 7 people have meanwhile been rescued from the building. Ayush Sharma is joining us for more on this story. Ayush, what has transpired in ITO in the national capital?
Well, yes, the SIA building at the ITO New Delhi, the 3rd floor of the building caught fire, and around 2 to 3 rooms were in the flames. Some people were even stuck in the windows. They were trying to escape. People were trying to come out, and they were caged inside the window. The Delhi Fire Service Department has made a temporary stair. The iron stair was set up there. The people were brought down from the windows. The situation was in total chaos, and one person of 46 years of age has died in the hospital. 7 people are still reportedly injured in that fire.
All right, let's leave it at that. My thanks to you, Ayush, for joining us with those details. Let's take a break.
Predictor on 1X Bet. Only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go. Predictor on 1X Bet. Only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go.
सबका अपने घर का सपना होगा पूरा, ये है मोदी की गारंटी।
पॉलिसी बाजार से टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस लेने के कुछ साल बाद मेरी वाइफ को कैंसर डायग्नोस हुआ और वो नहीं रही। उनकी कमी तो पूरी नहीं हो सकती, और टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के पैसे से बच्चों की फ्यूचर की चिंता नहीं रही। पॉलिसी बाजार ने क्लेम दिलाने में बहुत सपोर्ट किया।
पॉलिसी बाजार पे 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 470 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
जारी रहेगी भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति। ये है मोदी की गारंटी।
Predictor on 1X bet. Only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go.
Welcome back from the break. You're watching NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has filed his nomination papers from the Varanasi Lok Sabha seat. PM Modi filed his papers from the Varanasi seat today. He also performed Aarti at the Ghat amidst chanting of Vedic mantras. There's been a Hindu renaissance as Prime Minister Modi lent his hand in the restoration of places of great reverence. From inauguration of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya and redevelopment of Kashi Vishwanath corridor, PM Modi has steadfastly tried to instill a sense of pride amongst Hindus and also connect them to their roots. Joining us at this point is Jasmine Sandavalia, BJP spokesperson. Sujata Paul, Congress spokesperson, is also joining us live. Pavan Sinha, astrologer, is also live with us. Vedveer Arya, historian, is also live on the broadcast. Let me bring you in here first. Jasmine Sandavalia, obviously, even as Prime Minister Modi was in Varanasi, he did take time out to go to the Kal Bhairav temple, also the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, and take part in the Ganga Aarti as well today. Obviously, this all shows that rituals and prayers matter a lot to the Prime Minister.
Well, this is his nature. This is nothing new that he's doing. He's in completely, he has, he's a spiritual person and he has religious leanings and he has great respect for Hindu gods. And he has created a great sense of pride among, especially the younger generation of Indians, to take pride in our culture, in our religion. And this was expected that he would go and pay his obeisance at the holy temples and then go and file his nomination papers. So this is nothing new to his nature.
Do you believe that was one of the reasons why he chose Varanasi? Because of the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir there, because the fact that it is a place of great importance for Hindus?
You see, I'm not privy to why his choice of the constituency was taken, that the decision was taken. But reading his mind and reading from history in the from the last 25 years that one has known him as a political figure in India, he always has symbolic decisions. He always does take out-of-the-box decisions. He's proactive in doing something which will send out a message of a sense of pride, a sense of goodness, a sense of revivalism of our culture. And this could be one reason that he chose his constituency. And look what he has done for that constituency.
Okay. The BJP says, Sujata Paul, that the Prime Minister has, of course, brought about this Hindu renaissance. Instilling a pride in Hindus of their religion, of their faith, and also through his service. Not just by saying, but actually by delivering service through places like Kashi and Ayodhya and Mathura, has actually done a lot for the faith than what was done previously in the country.
The oath that he took was on the Constitution of India, and that gives him every right to profess his religion, propagate his religion, and talk about it. But as the Prime Minister of the country, He is supposed to head everybody who gets that right, whether they belong to the Hindu religion or any other religion. But has he really done that? That is the question. Because he has not only just been the prime minister of the BJP, has not been able to become the prime minister of every person. He has relegated people of the minorities into, second-class citizens when he talks about them as Ghuspetias, having more children, and so on and so forth. But the fact is, the BJP spokesperson was absolutely right. This is his nature, to make a show of it. Am I less of a follower of my religion than the Prime Minister? I come from Uttarakhand, which is Devbhoomi, and every time he has spoken about having a great religion with Kedarnath. After elections, you will see him there. But the fact that the Char Dham Yatra is going on, and instead of telling his so-called double-engine government's Chief Minister, Mr. Pushkar Singh Dhami, to look into what is happening in Uttarakhand during the Char Dham Yatra, where there is so much of chaos and confusion that we are all worried that no mishap happens. And I pray to Bholenath that nothing like that happens. My Badri Vishal Bhagwanji is going to make sure that doesn't happen. But when he makes a pomp and show, it doesn't show his spiritual side. Because, when you believe in something, you believe in your God, you don't make a show out of it. Of course, when we talk about a spectacular show, we also must remember that in this spectacular show, he's only making a spectacle of himself, because he also knows that he's losing. So and the BJP spokesperson's second thing that she said is absolutely correct again, that he's sending out a message. He's sending out a message to polarize and communalize also, because today, when he was filing his nomination, he should have said, I am the Prime Minister of everybody. So, and this has nothing to do with his going to
but did he say otherwise?
Right.
Did he say otherwise?
No. That is what he has to say after having made comments like Ghuspetia and all. Because, if anybody who goes to file his or her nomination will always go and pray and make sure, and of course, go to a temple, but not necessarily make a show about it. But that's perfectly fine. He's the Prime Minister of the country and everybody will be watching him also. So I don't hold that against him. But what I do hold against him is the fact that...
But Sujata Paul, this is often, contrasted with decisions of leaders of your party and others, to say not attend the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha. That's obviously being used by the BJP as something against you, saying that we are the ones who were always for the Ram Mandir. We attended, the Prime Minister, of course, was the one who carried out the Pran Pratishtha. But contrast that with leaders of, the SP, the Congress, the AAP, who rejected the invitation to the Ram Mandir, and many of them have not even visited after.
No, Uday, I'm not sitting here to talk about what other parties have to say, but I can tell you one thing.
It's being used as an election issue against you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them use it, but it is none less than all the four Shankaracharyas whom we hold very revered, and for us, their word is the final as far as our religion is concerned. And if they were not, if they decided that they were not going to go and attend it, then we will follow him. Mr. Modi might think he is everything and he's the only person who belongs to every top position in every field, including spiritual gurus. But I still think that my Shankaracharya Jis are more important for me, and I follow what they say. But when he's the Prime Minister of the country and he tries to polarize people, that hurts me. His religion is respected, and I respect him for following whatever religion. But sending out a message when he's been the Prime Minister for 10 years that I am the Prime Minister of everybody, that is what I expected him to do. That he didn't do, and that hurts.
Jasmine Sandavalia, your response.
The argument which my Congress opposition leader pitches, that she believes only in the Shankaracharyas and will not go, and that's the reason the Congress did not visit the Ram temple. Okay, they had a political, it was a political decision for them that they declined the invite to go on the Pran ceremony. But what was stopping them? This has been 3 months. They could have gone individually. Nobody was stopping them. It is not Modi ka mandir. It is Ram Mandir. It is a mandir which has been constructed with his proactive initiative and his promise to the people that a Ram Mandir will come here. But that is a place of worship in God for everybody. for everybody. They do not. They do not need permission from Mr. Modi. The Congress senior leadership does not need permission from Mr. Modi to go and visit that temple. What was the reason? For the last 3 months, since January, maybe it's more than 3 months now, they haven't taken the initiative to go there. So what are they projecting? And when she says that he goes and prays and it's a pomp and show, he's the Prime Minister of the country, and nowhere in the Constitution of India it is written that the Prime Minister, any Prime Minister, cannot go to a place of worship. Yesterday he was in Patna. He did seva in the Gurdwara. So what is she talking about? It is so easy to build a boogie about something and not come up with something relevant. I can keep on rambling like her and say, oh, he did this and he did that. I can quote 10 things of what Rahul Gandhi has been doing, but I don't want to stoop down to that level. I just want to stick down to that level that yes, our Prime Minister is a religious man, a spiritual man, and he believes in God. And there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong that he went and paid his obeisance at the temple. And in fact, India is a very religious country. We believe in religion. We are one of the most religious country in the world. We can't deny that.
Sujata Paul.
That is another.
Sujata Paul, very quickly, and then I need to get in the others.
Yes, absolutely. You know who's rambling we can see, and who went into history just a while back and spoke about Indira Gandhi. We've seen. But you know, when we are talking about people going to the Ram temple, don't forget that elections have been in place. And like I've already mentioned, for 4.5 months, I've been in Telangana. I have visited a number of temples over there, and so have a number of our Congress workers and leaders. But when you talk about the Ram Mandir, of course there were our leaders who went to the Ram Mandir. Of course they visited the Ram Mandir. They even went to, and everybody saw because the cameras did follow them there. But the fact that it was an RSS BJP program, that should not have happened. It should have been an all-inclusive program, and we could have waited for the Shankaracharyas to also be on board. So saying that is not correct, and I never questioned my Prime Minister's, religion. So my fellow panelist here is misquoting me. I have said that he has every right to be propagating his religion, following his religion, and praying to whoever he wants before the elections. I also said that when the Prime Minister goes, obviously people are going to watch him.
Pavan Sinha, let me bring you in here on, of course, the Kashi nomination of the Prime Minister, but also the spiritual awakening that the Prime Minister has said that he's tried to awaken. By his development and vikas, the Kashi development that he has done has changed the face of this Hindu pilgrimage site, is what the Prime Minister has said. Do you agree with him? And also, do you believe that this is a Hindu renaissance that the BJP and NDA have tried to awaken in the country over the last few years?
Previous political leaders or previous prime ministers, if they did not visit the religious places, it is up to them that they did not visit the religious places. They did not want to go there. And this Prime Minister, he does go there. He does pray. So I think that it is not that he is Hindu or against any other community. Because as you rightly mentioned, that he has been to a Gurdwara. Then he met Muslims also. He met Christians also. So I think he has not done any discrimination. And so far the distribution of resources are concerned, there too he doesn't do any kind of discrimination. In fact, major chunk of the resources are being distributed among Muslim community. And Prime Minister never said that they shouldn't be given it. Rather, it should be, all the resources should be kept to Hindus only. So, if Prime Minister is going, and he's a powerful Prime Minister, he is very popular Prime Minister, if he is going to a religious place or wherever he is going, he went to Lakshadweep. So, wherever such people go, they became, the places became popular and come in the limelight. So many tourists immediately rush to Lakshadweep. They started making bookings for Lakshadweep instead of Maldives. So it is the power of a prime minister that wherever he is going, whatever he is doing, that is looked by thousands and crores of people, and they follow him. Secondly, that prime minister is prime minister. Wherever he goes, he'll go with the security. This is very natural. So, if any prime minister is going with the security, we cannot say that he is going to religious places with the government expenses on the government expenses. We cannot say like that. So he has done the same thing, and previously also, I remember 2013 when he was not the prime minister, he was CM of Gujarat, and when the catastrophic day we saw in Uttarakhand tragedy, then too he went there and met the people there, and met all the people. Obviously, he was from Gujarat, so he asked the Gujaratis that if they need any kind of help, and he provided them the help. And other people were also were offered about the help. So he has been doing it. And I don't think that any prime minister should be condemned for this or should be even pointed out for this. There have been many people, for example, ex-Chief Minister Rawatji. He used to go to the different places. Uttarakhand is a land like that. One more thing I would like to say that on 22nd of January, I was also there and I saw many persons from Muslim community attending that function. I met them myself. I met them outside the gate also.
Yes.
So it shows that, and here again, Ansari Iqbal Ansari, the zeal when Ayodhya Prime Minister went in a recent visit. So the zeal Ansari family was having, it was miraculous. So instead of we divide the society in the name of that he is Hindu, he is not going to Muslim, etc., etc. Instead of this, we should admit it that naturally everybody follows his own religion primarily, and he knows the rituals of his own religion primarily, and after worshipping, then he starts any major work. So our Prime Minister is also doing the same thing. I think this is commendable.
Okay, Rashmi Samant, let me bring you in here on your take, of course, on the Prime Minister's nomination, also his decision to before nomination go to Kal Bhairav temple, also partake in the Ganga Aarti today. Yesterday he visited Kashi Vishwanath after his roadshow as well. Also, we have seen how Prime Minister Modi has spoken about the kind of development that he's done for the Hindu pilgrimage places. The BJP says that shows that it's not just about, propagating religion, but actually through service, making sure that there is development in these Hindu pilgrimage sites, be it Varanasi, be it Ayodhya, or be it Mathura. The Prime Minister has also, of course, spoken about his work for Kedarnath and other pilgrimage places in Uttarakhand as well. Do you believe this is part of a spiritual awakening in the country, renaissance? Has it been done before, or is it something different that we've seen in the last 10 years?
Well, Uday, I've been going to Kashi Vishwanath since I was a little child, and I think we've definitely seen the kind of development that's come into the city, into the pilgrimage sites over the past years. I mean, it was unimaginable to even find, it was difficult to find Kashi Vishwanath temple because of how cluttered that area was and how inconvenient it was for scores of devotees on a daily basis because of the mismanagement as a result of the government of the day. Soon after Modi ji took over, the Kashi Vishwanath corridor came into place, and every time since I've visited since 2014, there's been one or the other project coming into play in the city around the temple that has made lives of scores of devotees easy, convenient. And I think the Bharatiya people do deserve it. They do deserve public convenience at their places of worship. They do not deserve to be in a crowd or in an inconvenient position. And every time I visit, I see a new thing put up to just help devotees go to their place of faith. Secondly, I think the whole question is about he's in Kashi to file his nomination. I mean, I think the question would be if he did not go to Kashi Vishwanath. It is the singular most monumental, place in all of Kashi. And I think any prime minister who visits Kashi, irrespective of their religion, must go to Kashi Vishwanath because of the symbol and because of the importance it holds to the entire sort of civilizational culture that we have here in Bharat. I would be honestly surprised if he didn't go there, irrespective of his faith, because going there, he reinforces in the Bharatiya belief. And I mean, I think if you have problems with his reinforcement of other faiths, I think he's done more than enough, and he keeps, interacting with people of all faith to reinforce his support and the fact that he's prime minister for all. I think, like one of the panelists here suggested, he was in a Gurudwara yesterday during Christmas. He hosted members of, prominent members of the Christian community at his home in the PMO. He has young Christians leading the charge in Kerala. Anil Antony is actually leading the charge for BJP's entire campaign, and he's been given a prominent constituency to fight from. So I think, if anything, it proves that he's here for all faiths. But I think you shouldn't vilify him for believing in his own. And if you do, then I think it's a great disservice to the sort of civilizational history that this land has, and a great disservice to the people of this land. So I think deliberately trying to point out these things is vilification. Nobody discussed the fact that he went to a Gurudwara or, hosted Christian leaders at his home. But the minute he goes to Kashi Vishwanath, it is pinpointed as a singular event somehow, and that it's the only thing he's done as prime minister, and that it somehow reinforces his singular belief in a single faith. It does not. You just have to look back and have the tolerance to, understand the kind of inclusivity he's brought about in his entire tenure. So if you don't want to watch it, if you want to pretend to be asleep, then nobody can awaken you with the facts.
Okay,
Unfortunately, that's the fact of it.
Sujata Paul wants to respond. Go ahead.
Yes. Whoever has vilified people is Mr. Modi himself, when he vilified Muslims as Ghuspaitias and having lots of children. But I heard Guruji talking about things which were not even part of the discussion. So that's very strange. Maybe he prepared his note and he spoke from there. So that's also fine, because we are tolerant. Our religion is tolerant, and our country is tolerant. So it's okay. But there were 300 smaller temples which had to be brought down for building this Kashinath corridor, and people have been asking questions on that. There have been no answers to that. In Kedarnath, the Haq Hakukdaris and the Panda Purohits have been on a strike since 10th of May, when the Yatra started, because their guest houses, their homes, they were all dug up, because Modi ji wants to make a show out of everything, and he even got the steps to the Kedarnath temple broken. I want Guruji to respond to that. You don't want the architecture of the area of Uttarakhand to be like it should be, in sync with nature, but when Modi ji talks about, when Guruji talks about Gujarat and the Chief Minister of Gujarat coming to Kedarnath because he wanted to rescue people, he came like Rambo.
Jasmine Sandavalia, go ahead.
But he said, I'm not going to
quickly want to say
because he became only the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and he did not.
Jasmine, go ahead. I need to get in Pavan Sinha as well there.
Yes, if the madam would just stop talking. I want to say that when everybody accuses Mr. Narendra Modi that he's only doing it for the Hindus, I again want to say that I come from a Sikh community, and in the Kartarpur corridor was opened with a hostile country, Pakistan. It was only because of Narendra Modi's efforts
it's because
that
of our
the
foreign
Sikhs
policy,
can go and pray.
Which has
You
been
had a
worked
prime
on for
minister,
so
a
many
Sikh
years.
prime minister for 10
Yes,
years.
but you will never have a Sikh prime minister, right? And Modi Mirage is part of a report about Modi's so-called popularity that you are propagating to people. The fact is that the Mandir Mala project, which has been brought into Uttarakhand, and when
Okay, 30 seconds, Pavan Sinha, I need to conclude. 30 seconds, Pavan Sinha. I need to take a break.
See, as I'm blamed that I spoke on those issues which even were not asked by you. But pointedly, I'm telling you that I spoke on all such issues which may not have suited to Sujata ji. So that's why she's saying like that. But from 2013 till date, what has happened in Uttarakhand.
Yes.
And one very good thing Rashmi ji said that we have a right to visit our places in a better way with good roads and all. And I think it takes time. It takes time. And if any prime minister doing that, if any chief minister is doing that, I think they should be.
All right. Let's leave it at that. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us. We've run totally out of time. We have to take a very short break. Back on the other side with lots more.
Predictor on 1X Bet. Only on NewsX. Are you ready for the daily cricket show? Let's go.
भैया जितने पैसों में मोदी जी ने करोड़ों आवास बना दिए, करोड़ों घरों में मुफ्त बिजली पानी कनेक्शन पहुंचा दिए, उससे कहीं ज्यादा पैसे तो वो पहले वाले 60 साल में अपने घर ले गए। ये तो अंग्रेजों से भी ज्यादा लूट के ले गए।
नोट गिरते गिरते मशीन थक कर हार कर खराब हो गई, दूसरी बड़ी मशीनें मंगवानी पड़ी।
मैंने सोचा याद दिला दूं आपको कि कमल का बटन दबाना क्यों जरूरी है।
It's election time in Jammu and Kashmir. I'm of course here in Srinagar with the famous Lal Chowk behind me, and of course you can see the Tiranga flying high. जैसे कि कहते हैं ना, आंखें सेक ली. We are here, the fight really here is between Omar Abdullah's party, the PDP, and of course there is Sajjad Lone who has floated his own party, and there is an Apni party. So People's Conference, Apni party, National Conference and the PDP. What is missing here are the two national parties. The Congress has aligned with Omar Abdullah and is supporting him in the India alliance. What is missing is the BJP. There is no BJP candidate over here. What Omar Abdullah of course says is that the BJP is fighting this battle by proxy. They are supporting Sajjad Lone and his People's Conference. He's saying if they were so confident of the Article 370 being removed and being such a great move, then why isn't the BJP here fighting the battle? We do see the odd poster of Narendra Modi saying Modi ki guarantee as we came up from the airport to Lal Chowk. But that's about the presence of the BJP. The face here still is someone from the valley, Apna face, which is of course Sajjad Lone. The high-profile battle is in Baramulla, where Sajjad Lone is taking on Omar Abdullah directly. It's a battle that is making headlines every day, really, at the two exchange charges. Sajjad calls Omar the outsider. He says he tells people in Baramulla that big tourist aa gaya hai. Omar, of course, says that he is the real pratinidhi, the real representative of the people of the valley, while Sajjad Lone is just a rubber stamp put up by the BJP. Omar's campaign really is, he said, if you elect me, you will elect someone who is your person, who will go to the Delhi as your representative. But if you elect Sajjad Lone, you will be electing a representative of Delhi. So do you want someone from the valley or do you want someone by proxy? So what I found really interesting, straight off the bat, my first impression when I came from Srinagar, straight from the airport was, my last visit was, I think, in 2018 or 2017, before the removal of Article 370. As we came, we saw a lot of barriers, barricades, men with guns. Men with guns are still here, in fact, around me. But at the end of the day, the ride from the airport was smooth. There were few barricades. The shops are open. There is much more activity. We are seeing a lot of tourists here also. In fact, the luggage took 45 minutes to come because of the onrush of tourists, honeymoon couples, people. A lot of people from South India, from Kerala were actually on the plane with us. Everybody's coming here for a holiday. But election times, of course, it's another sort of holiday for us journalists. Much mayhem, a lot of hustle and bustle, lot of, I would say, the right optics really, at least here in downtown Srinagar. It is, something to watch out for, something I'm sure will be an election issue. We saw construction work happening, in certain places. Maybe the BJP is trying to make sure that its optics are right before it announces the assembly elections. It wants to do some kind of work before it can come and say what removal of Article 370 was really good for the infrastructure of the state. Whatever the reasons, there seems to be some improvement in the valley. So we just came down from Lal Chowk and we were going in fact towards Dal Lake where I saw something very interesting. It's called SWEEP, Jammu and Kashmir Sports Council. There were kids doing taekwondo, young girls practicing taekwondo, and I believe the motive of this is also to teach and inspire people to come and vote. They're also teaching them self-defense. So what is happening over here?
Ma'am, this is a set of, we have prepared a demonstration of our daily based routine, whatever we do at our training halls. So we are here to let people know that, to let them know that it's election time and we should just cast our vote. We should come forward to give our choices, whatever we want to have in our day-to-day life, what upgradations we need. So yeah, we are here to give that demonstration to provide people with the awareness of the vote on 13th May.
So you're also teaching them how to vote?
Yeah, not how to vote, how to kick.
How to kick? This is democracy with a kick.
Yeah, this is democracy with the kick.
So are you going to vote for the candidates or are you going to give them a kick?
We'll give them a kick.
I love that. Well, tell me a bit about yourself. You look like you're in school.
Yeah.
Old enough to vote?
I'm old enough to vote. I'm 21 and I'm pursuing honors in sociology at Cluster University.
So you're going to be voting for the first time or you voted in the...
No, I have not voted yet. So let's see what will be in the destiny, if I vote or not.
So you are deciding?
Yeah, I'm deciding right.
What are you voting for over here?
Actually, particularly voting के लिए नहीं, but obviously development चाहिए और हम लोगों को आगे बढ़ना है तो ज़रूरी है.
आप बताइए, generally what is the mood? Don't tell me which party, but what are the issues?
Yeah, there are so many issues here. If we do voting, we can elect our representatives so that they can decide what our demands are, so that they can put forward these demands. That is the reason that we want to give people this message that they should vote. This is the main motive and cause of this program this time.
So issues are development and better representation at the center. Well, it's very interesting. We were walking through and driving through. We saw this corner meeting. I thought it's a political rally, but it's a citizen awareness rally. Much, much better than a political rally, I would say. Let's go and see what is happening at Dal Lake now. Well, now we've come to, one place that really signifies Kashmir as it is seen on postcards and on political decisions, the Dal Lake. I mean, this is, what I see, this Dal Lake is more like a political statement also, because it's on the surface, it is very quiet and very peaceful. Quiet flows the Dal Lake, but underneath there is a lot of turmoil, a lot of strife, and a lot of political action, despite the serene look on top. But joining me today is BJP spokesperson from the Valley, the Advocate Sheikh Salman. He's the BJP spokesperson. Not a very enviable job, I think, in the Valley. Rest of India, good to be BJP spokesperson. In the Valley, slight problems, right?
Well, I'm not a spokesperson. I'm heading the IT department and I'm seeing to the campaigning department as well. So, and I just speak what my heart tells me to speak.
You're an actual spokesperson. You speak from your heart.
Yeah, very true. I can understand the scenario, I can grasp the scenario, and I can talk about it. That's what I believe I can do.
Okay, but BJP in the Valley, how do the people take you? Do they look at you with suspicion? And has the scene changed post 370?
Suspicion? I didn't get. What suspicion?
Well, the centre is always seen as, especially the BJP, as someone, a lot of people in the Valley look at the BJP because this is the party that abrogated 370. So a lot of the locals feel that, while the move was welcome in the rest of India, the people of Kashmir still held some resentment. Or am I wrong?
See, it is not the people. It is 1% of people, I believe, and all these people are in the regional parties and they have some ulterior motives and self-driven motives, which is to, create a false narrative, false propaganda, because there is no other anything they can offer to people. So they are, misleading people that Article 370, we need to get back. And I don't know how they're going to get back. And they are trying to politicize it and they are trying to make it a big hoo-ha about it. I mean, I don't know what was in the 370. If they can explain what was in 370, which was stopping them from development, which was stopping them from curbing the separatism movement and curbing the movement of Pakistan and curbing the corruption. I don't know what was stopping them from, if there was 370 or if this 370...
You're saying people want 370 back. That means there is some resentment that it was taken away.
It's not the people, it's the political parties, regional political parties. They want to see, we have like a population of almost 1.5 crore people. So I don't think some few thousand people or few hundred people represent all of these people,
Then why isn't the BJP fighting the election?
See, BJP is, I believe that political party has a fundamental aim and objective, and the fundamental aim of objective is the elections. I get that. I understand that and agree to that. But then you have to understand BJP is an ideological party. We works on the ideas, we works on the ideology, and we have been working on our ideology. It's not that we want to go into the power politics or we want to establish our representatives as a power politics. We have always, nation comes first, welfare of state comes first, welfare of people come first.
But the only reason BJP won't field candidates is if it feels there's no chance of winning. We know Modi and Amit Shah. They are so electorally driven.
Well, this is a very generic statement, and then if they are so we don't want to do fiddling about things. I mean, see, we have to understand what is our strength, where is our strength, and what are the strategies which will help us grow and flourish in the future. I mean, it's not something we want to do at the moment. It is a long-term plan. It is a narrative we're working on. It is the ecosystem we are working on. It is the environment we are working on. It is the mindset of the people. It is the ideology we are working on.
And you feel the centre can help with all this?
Of course they can.
So you're not saying it, but it seems that your values and your aspirations match with some candidates over here.
No, I'm not saying that. See, basically what is it? We are working to strengthen the democracy. And to strengthen the democracy, voting is a very essential element of it. And we want people to vote and strengthen the democracy process, which was hindered and which was, totally into a turmoil from last few decades. So now we want people to flourish into democracy. We want people to attain that kind of a wisdom where they choose their representation by voting.
On that note, thank you so much for talking to us. In fact, on the way here, we stopped at a Nukkad drama or something. It was organized by an organization called Sweep, which I later on found out is actually promoted by the Election Commission of India to promote voting and ask people to come out and vote. So what Salman here was saying also, the idea is also to encourage democracy, encourage people to come to the ballot box and vote and see what happens to the Naya Kashmir and where it takes them. Let's go and find out what else is happening over here. Well, after speaking with a young man from the BJP, Advocate Salman, his task is not an easy one. Yes, the BJP has abrogated Article 370, a move that has been welcomed the rest of India. But within Kashmir, within the valley, there are still some people who are viewing it with suspicion, which is why, of course, the BJP doesn't have a candidate in these elections. So it's not really easy being a BJP representative as yet. For that, the BJP will have to try a bit harder. You know what Vajpayee ji said about Insaniyat, Kashmiriyat, Jamhuriyat, they have to win over not just, in terms of legislation, but the hearts and minds of people of Kashmir. For that, they'll have to bring in policy makers. They will, of course, have to bring in much more development. Part of it we can see is they've started already, but a lot more has to be done. Policy makers, the elite, the opinion makers, people on the ground, each section of society will have to have a different need and will have to be addressed and dealt with separately. There has to be a lot of work going in terms of just changing mindsets, changing hearts, winning hearts. So, the elections, I don't know whether they'll be held on time as per the Supreme Court's orders. Omar Abdullah clearly has his doubts, which is why he's not contesting the assembly but the Lok Sabha. But until then, the main work has been done in terms of, as far as the BJP is concerned. They've lived up to their promise of removing 370. Now the real hard work really begins now. If they have to win over the state or the valley, Union Territory and the valley, then they will have to work a little harder, a little more showing goodwill and trust of the people. That still needs a lot of work. But anyway, let's go and see now what I'm told that Sajjad Lone is holding a press conference. He's the People's Conference candidate, and it'll be interesting to see what he says, and we're going to try and see if we can get a word with him. But anyways, let's go and see what the mood at his party headquarters is all about. Now we are joined by Sajjad Lone, President People's Conference, and also the candidate from Baramulla. It's been quite an exciting election so far, Sajjad bhai.
Yeah, it's good. We're working hard on the ground. I have been there for a long time, a couple of months. We're working on the ground, and it's been a tiring but a very exciting journey so far.
So what are the big ticket issues? Because from Delhi, we are told that 370 is the big issue here in the valley. But from you being a valley person, what is the big issue?
No, of course, 370 is an issue. It's still fresh in the minds of the people, and given a chance, they would always want it back. It's not that Kashmiris will ever agree to its abrogation. But there are other issues also. There are issues which confront people in the day-to-day lives. There are issues of development. Then there are issues pertaining to dignity of the people of Kashmir. I will sum it up like this, that you've taken the special status away. They would now want to be equal participants in the concept of India, not unequal participants or inferior participants. There might be a feeling that they're being treated below par, in the sense, in terms of laws, in terms of strictness, in terms of many other variables. They do believe that, if there is a law, it needs to be for every part of the country.
But, the campaign of the National Conference is that you are as a proxy of the BJP. He keeps repeating this. So how do you react to that?
Mr. Omar Abdullah thinks that by saying this, he can create a negative perception about me and get votes. But I would just say that me being somebody's proxy does not make him a good person. So their party has been in power for 35 years. They have sent 9 out of 10 parliament members who have stayed in parliament for 28 years, a total of 27 parliamentarians. So I think he should defend those years in power and not attack someone like me who has been in power for 2.5 years as an MLA and a minister, and not with a very high-flying portfolio, but animal husbandry minister. So there is not a lot that an animal husbandry minister can do in 2.5 years. That whatever is wrong in J&K is because of that person. So, and we have been in politics. This party was formed by my father in 80s. We have fought elections. We've been victims of rigging in 1987, the notorious rigging of 1987, of which scriptwriter was his father and the Congress government at the center. Together they rigged it, which brought in the gun. And till now, 100,000 people have died, and BJP and Congress included. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody has till now asked a single question that why did you have to rig elections in 1987? So the robber of 1987 has the audacity to raise fingers at people who have struggled. I fought in 2009, and I forfeited my deposit. I was not a proxy at that time. Then we fought in 2014. and we lost by 1,50,000 votes. I was not a proxy at that time. Then we fought in 2019, right? And we lost by 27 or 30,000 votes. So statistically now we will win by 50,000 votes because we've been closing the gap with every election. So since I'm in a position to win this time, so now I'm a proxy.
But also, I seen your campaign. You say that you are the insider and he's the outsider because, you have a house in Barabanki.
I'm the son of the soil. He's a tourist.
He's a tourist.
Of course.
That's a very strong word to use for a former chief minister.
He's a tourist. He's a tourist. Just tell me, ma'am. He lives on. I used to live in Sanat Nagar and Handwara. We used to go. I have spent. My mother is from Sopore, so winters I would be in Sopore. Summers sometimes we would go to Handwara, to Harai, and then we had a house in Srinagar also because I used to study in Srinagar. So I can name 500 neighbors. Let him name one neighbor. He lived in the posh Gupkar. On one side, there was the IB headquarters. On the other side, RAW headquarters. And in front of that, Army headquarters. So all he has known through his life is Army uncle, IB uncle, and RAW uncle. No Kashmiri uncle. And then in class 5, he went for boarding. Then he stayed there. And then the RSS put him in, and the BJP government, in Vajpayee government as a foreign minister. So where is the Kashmiri part? You tell me. If I am wrong, you tell me. When has he stayed in Kashmir as a youth? When has he seen the struggles of a common man? He's never seen them. So he is a tourist. And this is a rural area, rustic rural area. He comes with his own cup of tea, with his own tea, with his own spoon, with his own cup, tumbler, glass.
What do you go with?
I go with nothing. I am one of the locals.
Okay, but what about this charge that you are, doing business with the BJP? Maybe because you heard the story that your wife went to Pakistan and she was not allowed to come back because there was some.
You see, the problem with you media is, you see, now NewsX always I've seen pro BJP, and when you
Hello,
come
hello.
here,
No,
when you
no,
come
not-
here, you are